Okay, so I think this is the last video we'll do. We're back here to the top with our deck A, all the cards we've added to it, 15 over the course of like this hour. And now we're just gonna go through it, like, just kind of see how it functions, see what I can remember. So you just click on it, you just click the card, or deck, whatever. Double click, and then you just, click study now. It'll say, what are your new cards learning in zero, or to review. And this is important also. I can't actually remember how it goes, but of course, like your new cards are in blue, the newest cards you've made. Like cards you're learning are in red. And what learning really means is like, you've just gone through them once, and you'll see this as I'm going through the cards. You'll go through them once, and it'll mean that like you've gone through them, but you haven't like told yourself, which I'll show you exactly how. Oh, I know these cards. I've gotten it right, and so that's just like I've gone through these cards, but I haven't gotten to the point where I don't know if they call it mastery, but I just haven't gotten to the point where I know these cards. And then anything that's in review is like, okay, I've been through these cards once. I'm like going through this deck again because it's time for me to do that. Now it's green. It's in review. It's like I've learned this. Now it's like how fast can I get through that? And what that really means, here, we'll just go to it. I'll show you. Okay, so we're on this first one, the easy one. Um, and actually, this is a good example of a good card and a bad card. Or this is really a good example of a bad card because, like, if I were to like, let's say I was legit studying this, and I went through this like a month later, the bicep is inferior to what? In fact, it's biceps, not bicep, but like, or I guess singular bicep actually. Biceps brachii. Yeah, I think it's bicep. Whatever. This is a bad card because if I were going through this like months later, I'd be like I mean, like to the context of the class, and plus I'd make a way more specific card, which I think that's why I made that the biceps brachii is innervated by what, like that I would know the answer to, or I would at least know what I need to know. But this is a bad card. It's like it's just really vague. But anyway, so down here you got the blue 15, which is like I'm learning these cards. These are brand spanking new. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, what is it? Biceps inferior to, I think what I put earlier, the deltoid. Just as far as efficiency, instead of going down here and clicking show answer, I always, oh, show answer in hockey is space. Oh, I know it's also enter. Is it space or is it enter? Oh my gosh. Anyway, you just, instead of clicking show answer, you can click enter. I'm gonna try enter because I think that's what it is. And yeah, it is enter as well. And so the answer was deltoid, right? So let's say I got it wrong, right? Which, I might. That's okay. I get stuff wrong all the time on Anki. I have a general rule for myself as well, but so you have these first options, like because this like deck is like brand new. You have like 1 minute, 10 minute, 2 days. So anything in the again or good area, actually I really shouldn't say that. Well, actually it is true. It is true. Anything in the again or good area is gonna automatically one make the card red. If you put it in this easy, like whatever, because the numbers change, but if you put it in the easy category, that's going to automatically make it green, saying okay, like you've like so to speak mastered it. Now it's under review. When I'm going through new cards, it depends on what the subject is, but I generally have a rule where it's like, no, I'm like, even if I know it, I'm going to purposely like say I don't know it a couple times just so I know it. Because for me, I don't always get a chance to go through my decks multiple times, and that's kind of the frustrating part with Anki because it's like, or really just I guess like school to this magnitude is just like you get just taught so much information. If you're gonna study with Anki, which I don't like, I don't always. Sometimes I'll just switch to straight PowerPoint. Sometimes I'll just go with OneNote, whatever it is. If you're gonna study with Anki, you want to be able to go through your cards, but you don't. It's that's another conversation, but it's not always realistic for you to go through your cards like multiple times a day or whatever. But I mean, it's a great tool for just going through them and like really getting down some information. Like I do like it in that regard. So anyway, we're just gonna go through this again. We're just gonna say I'm gonna hit. So also instead of clicking again, good and easy, I'm glad these things pop up. You have shortcuts for 1, 2, and 3 just for speed and efficiency. So I'll hit 2 10 minutes later. And now it's red, which means it's under review. Or no, I completely forgot what that even meant. Whatever. But it just means like really what red means is by the end of this session, if I want to like get to the point where I'm done with all these cards, um I need to like it's gonna I need to like get it to green. Like I basically need to hit show answer, and I need to um like hit like the easy option, and then it like won't even be here because there are 15 cards. Like for instance, let's just do this one. This is the deltoid. Like this is one of the basic cards. The biceps inferior to the deltoid. I hit easy. Now that one card that I hit red for is still there, but no, I have 13 plus 1, which is 14 total cards. That 15th card, the one I just did, is no longer here. It's in the whatever, like this is 2 days. It's going to show me that card 2 days later, and it's going to ask me, like, what's that? Like, it'll pop up in the pool of cards that are under review at that point. And so that's what like hitting easy does. So like when I'm getting to harder stuff, I don't like sometimes I don't want it to show me this 2 days later. I want to like kind of make sure I know it. And you can customize these. I don't always do that, but you can definitely do like the increments and all that. I don't always do that because I don't always go through my cards every single day, but still, when I do, it's helpful. You can change those, but still, I just want to go through them multiple times. So anyway, biceps is innervated by the musculocutaneous nerve. I know that. What was this? So this was the tibiofemoral joint. Yes, I'm just gonna do easy. Those were the tibial. No, femoral condyles. Yeah, those are the tibial plateaus. This was the. I wanted to say linea aspera, but that's definitely not correct. That's on the rectus abdominis. Or on just like the abdominal section. That's the soleal line. I forget. There's another name for that. Oh, and I just straight up went into these, but you can obviously tell like whatever's red is like what I'm being asked of. So yeah. Um, that's the medial condyle of the tibia, which it doesn't say, but still. Um, that's the lateral condyle, and this is the tibial tuberosity. Yep. So I'm going through these pretty quick. Like these are pretty simple cards. Like I like Anki for the fact that like memorizing stuff is pretty like you can go through like pictures pretty fast. Essentially, if like you have a good memory for it, and I just feel like I don't know. I feel like Anki really develops that, but it's also just an individual's aptitude. But I'm not gonna even if I get these right, I'm gonna actually make these go back to the pool because I want to show you like one of the cool advantages of like going back on Anki and like when you're stuck with certain cards you can't get. I actually can't remember this. I know this is the osteo. Oh, it already. Yeah, here's my header. It says osteokinematics of the knee. And so I need to know like what are these joint surfaces? What are these actions doing? And so this is a femur tibia. This is the anterior direction, posterior, and this is a roll and this is a slide. So this would be a posterior roll and an anterior slide. So this would be posterior roll. Yep, nice. And then right here you got anterior slide. I purposely put it back here so I got two red right now. That's anterior slide. Yeah. So this would be anterior, posterior. This would be an anterior roll and a posterior slide. Okay, yeah. And this just has to do with mobilizing the joint. Or really, this is just how the joint moves, but the implication is how we can mobilize it as well. And this is posterior roll. Okay. Oh, posterior slide, JK. Alright, now we got my last card. The blank is inferior to the deltoid. Again, bad card, because I could say the flexor carpi radialis, the brachialis, the metacarpals, my toes, like I could say anything is under the deltoid, but the heart, like, you know, anatomical position obviously is relevant still. But in our case, the bicep. So cool. So I got that wrong on purpose, but now we have 6 cards in red. So what that means is like in real studying, it's like sometimes you'll be struggling with some cards and you'll just be here and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm just grinding it out. The cool part is like you can start seeing the same cards multiple times. And sometimes you might have to take a little mental break because you're like, okay, I'm just not getting these cards right. But other times it's just good having that consistent repetition because you're like, oh my gosh, I just can't remember this card. But you see it like 30 seconds later and you're like, oh no, I remember that one. It's that thing or whatever. And it's just really good for that because like that consistent repetition can be key with Anki. And I feel like Anki can really different than just studying or rewriting your notes or even talking out loud. I think talking out loud or talking in your head or writing from your memory is good actually as well. Just anything that's forced recall. But Anki just really pulls it out of you in that regard, especially when you get stuck on different cards. So let's just get through these. Yeah, bicep is inferior to the deltoid. Anterior roll. Posterior slide. Or posterior roll, JK. Anterior slide. The bicep is, yeah, bicep, yeah. Posterior slide. And we're done. And it's that simple. So I really hope that was like clear and hopefully concise, but definitely key to just working with Anki. And you once you're going through your deck, you'll get to the point where you'll like come back to it, and it'll say like your cards will be like on the review part, and you just have to do them again. And if you feel like you don't need to do the cards again, that's why I like to make sub decks and not put all my cards in one deck because I can just move on to a different subject. So really cool, cool Kanye.